surprised because he just constantly sacrifices. So it's a bit different than the other teams, but just aim to see him. We're going to be seeing a lot of wards, a lot of sentries because of the bounty hunters in the game, and he's going to be totally cool playing like that. He's going to be totally used to it. So he's a little bit vulnerable to clockwork, but you know, he actually doesn't feed on the roll. He's just really experienced with his positioning.
This is what I feel like a bit of a peculiar response from Vici Gaming, though. They get their own little icy support in the Ancient Apparition. It's not your typical counter of, oh, they've got heavy defense or heal power that we want to nerf down. Sure, Bloodseeker would have a bit of a sticky time if he got hit with an Ice Blast and he's trying to just get his life and sustain back in order by, you know, punching down some creeps. But maybe they're looking to get something special here with their 5th core pick. I mean, Weaver stands out as the common practice to have an AA Weaver in a dominant early laning phase, but I feel Weaver would have just too much trouble overall with the Virtus.Pro lineup.
Yeah, and the synergy between AA and Quap is decent, but now that our ultimate does pure, it's anti-synergy there in a way because you can't super leverage out of that. But AA Clock is pretty good. Clock does a lot of magic, and it's just drop the little Ice Vortex on wherever he cogs on. That's pretty cool. And like you said, the AA ult will prevent Bloodseeker from healing. So I feel like we haven't seen that many Bloodseekers getting out of control with kill after kill after kill, healing every time and barely staying alive. Against organized teams at the TI level, Bloodseeker has some strengths, but he doesn't seem super overpowered. I think with Storm, it's a nice combo, though, because anybody that Storm goes on, he's going to pull for, you know, 1 to 2.5 seconds, and you can AA ult on top of that, and not to mention boost all Storm's damage. So I think that's a pretty good synergistic thing there. Maybe is their solution versus Darkseer as well. Bunch of extra burst damage with magic, and it's going to also be a Quap in the safe lane, most likely, or Storm. Storm is very good versus Darkseer, but depending on which hero it is, either Quap or Storm, their right click is very important, and if you give the chilling touch damage and you get a couple hits on the Darkseer, you can definitely kill him just by bursting him down pretty fast.
This is just such a disgusting fight-oriented lineup coming out from Vici Gaming.
Yeah, it really is.
Bounty Hunter constantly on the prowl, he gets the scout, Clockwork hooks in, gets the setup, Storm flies in shortly after. This was all set up, you know, premeditated Ice Blast to come in thereafter. I mean, that is just serious hit and run potential. Between those latter 4, you can mix and match any of the 2 and they'll be able to get the job done. And Queen of Pain, even high mobile, can get in the action here. But look at this response coming out. Spirit Breaker grabbed up, and for now in the hands of Lil, so this isn't your traditional DK Phobo Spirit Breaker. This is a full position roaming Spirit Breaker coming out for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, I think they played this once yesterday, or at least I did see another 4-position SB, but they needed something that would give them some lockdown, because right now they're pretty weak. Crystal Maiden's pretty good against the first 4 picks of Vici, but with Storm in the game, you need something that's a harder stun, and Spirit Breaker is an option against Storm, but he's also going to work very well versus AA, Bounty, and Queen of Pain. If you find the heroes, chase them down, follow up, and should be a if Storm gets a little out of control, this is going to be a very tough game for VP, but at least going into the 20 to 30 minute mark, Storm's going to have to be a bit careful now.
Really like the Storm Spirit, or the Spirit Breaker grab there. Really helps against the Bounty Hunter. You get that just a little bit of glimpse. He happens to cross paths over a sentry ward. You get the quick charge, and there'll be plenty of follow-up to come in thereafter. And often, you know, AAs, especially in the more farming kind of position, perhaps, they want to kind of have a side lane to just build up. And if you're lucky enough, maybe you get a quick Midas. That's not so easy when you got you know, Spirit Breaker who could be on the loose. You risk, you know, being out there by yourself with no backup. A Spirit Breaker is just going to get easy food right off this AA. So you got to be careful with that.
That's a good point. That's definitely something Vici wants to do. With both Quap and Storm, they have 2 options to just go in jungle. And during that time period, they'll probably shift Ancient Apparition into a solo lane. That way he can catch up experience and hopefully grab that Midas. And with the roaming Bounty Hunter, he's not going to want a static farm lanes that often either, so it pretty much falls down to the AA pretty consistently for that experience. So we will be seeing him do that at some point. Like you said, he's got to be careful about the Spirit Breaker charge because he doesn't have a hard disable, so a little scary for him.
As we hop into the action, folks, this is just game number 1 of this best of 2. Vici Gaming going toe-to-toe against Virtus.Pro. Virtus.Pro currently hold 8 points in their group. Vici Gaming holding 5. Of course, they are short a couple of series in comparison to Virtus.Pro, so if they want to quickly escalate to the top of their group, they're going to need a couple of wins here, will Vici. But the runes spawn quickly. Gonna get snagged up. G gets the rune and eats a poke there from FY, and Super is able to grab up the bounty rune here on the bottom as he heads back to this mid lane here. So lanes will become adjusted. Ice was able to get the obs down. Where did he end up putting it down? He had one in hand here. It looks like maybe he handed it off and they decided to put it at the top of the river instead, or he just gave it to FY. Yeah,
very smart.
And he's going to take it and put it, you know, elsewhere.
No, I think that didn't get spotted. I was going to say the ward might have caught him there. Boots first on Gyro, actually. He's doing that so that he absolutely doesn't have to worry about getting solo killed, and he can also pressure the clockwork a bit better this way. So I like the fast boots. He'll probably pick up, I don't know, typical phase most likely, something like that. He should be fine in this lane. Very low chance of his HP going down, so the greedy boots I think completely works.
A dual lane matchup for now. A lot of emphasis for G to secure a strong start in this mid lane matchup against Super Storm Spirit. FNG, now getting up in arms here with FY. He's just trying to maybe build some stacks on the side here, but knows that FY is going to be roaming about. He has a sentry down now, scares him back, and he proceeds back to the stack. But unfortunately, he wasn't there in time to stack it.
He still made out pretty well there because VP set a trap there with that sentry, and FY approached over here and he put an observer ward down to spot the Crystal Maiden jungling, so he got a free observer ward out of that.
Very nice. Well, 50 gold is 50 gold.
Lil in trouble,
but yeah, Lil's gonna have to chomp his way all the way through the trees and gets the bonus bump up close to safety. Ooh, a little too close to comfort there, Lil.
Yeah, he made it though. He looked super dead, but great tree eating, I guess.
That works.
New verb, and Lil's going to end up staying alive, so the best tree eater from Wisconsin.
Guy loves his veggies. We'll see if he gets served up some dessert thereafter, but for now, Ice maintains composure in his position. Only 2 CS to himself, but he is close enough to get some leached out XP. You compare that over the other side, DK Phobos here, also level 2, but with the benefit of his Ion Shell, quickly throwing together 6 CS and looking to make it work. Not too difficult here for Hao, you know, doesn't have to worry too much about the poking damage from your Ion Shell and easily can take over. You can already see him right here, just the disrespect as he's able to easily bully back DK Phobos from the lane. No surprise purrs to see again. FY and FNG, they're going to be really up in arms with each other here in the jungle.
I like that they put the sentry here, though, because it basically gives FNG a place where he can just jungle safely, where he doesn't have to worry about the bounty, at least auto-attacking. Like, they're going to split experience, which is good for FY and all, but it doesn't do that much, because FNG always knows where he is. He doesn't have to worry about getting stolen. So, and he actually pops a smoke, and because he knew that FY was to the left, he knows that he could smoke and swing to the mid lane. He's only going to have Frostbite, though.
He's going to get there and notice the Crystal Maiden's missing, and I wonder if that piece of information is going to be communicated over here to Super. Otherwise, he could end up in trouble. Being able to get a hold of a Storm Spirit before he gets to level 6 is huge. Blood right with the freeze right on top secures the extra damage and the silence. They're going to charge him down. Right click, FNG. Got to get first blood. What a heads up play. And they see FY. He's going to get frozen. A new sentry is going to get dropped. Ooh, so close to hitting a double. There is a charge. They have the vision. Lil's going for it, making FY feel a bit at ease, and they follow it up. Do they have the extra bit of detection past the tower?
They got it.
They got the right click. The aim hack coming out from FNG. Looks like Lil is going to lose his life, but very much hashtag worth it on that one.
No kidding. Extra sentries, and they're actually pretty well spread as well, so there's basically zero chance that G dies to a bounty hunter in the mid lane now. He's going to see him coming no matter what, and they got him just low enough there for the C Invis to go through on Thurston. That's a level 5 Bloodseeker here. He's got a bit of a level advantage over the Storm Spirit, so this is getting scary and scarier for Storm Spirit, because as soon as he hits 6, FNG can rotate again, and that should be an easy kill.
There is a charge flying out here on the bottom lane. It is going to be canceled and pulled back as Fenrir and Hao a bit too close to the tower. They've been doing a wonderful job down here using this creep equilibrium and holding it under the tower for themselves, not allowing the Darkseer to get a whole lot. They continue to punish DK Phobos and keep him back in at bay. FY again back on the prowl here, but FNG has kind of had his number, and because of that, the team just kind of knows where this bounty hunter goes, and they are not too worried about it one bit. Look at this, Ice is going to get a side pull for himself on this clockwork. Now level 4, pushing to level 5, and pushing ahead of DK Phobos as far as offlaners go.
That's pretty good for them. Level 6 clockwork is a much bigger threat, actually, at least in the short term. Obviously, Darkseer, if he gets out of farm, he'll be in a good place. They actually do spot out FY. Is there a dust?
They had a sentry at first, and he walked in it enough for Lil now to get the charge off. Now, there's no sentry in the area, but if you're looking through the point of view of FY, you're kind of like, every lane I freaking go to, these guys know exactly where I am. Yeah. Pissing me off.
FY using another smoke here. He also placed an observer ward in the very hard to de-ward spot on the top lane. And here comes the mid gank. They might find FY though. The sentry's down, G's covered.
Ooh.
Super's 5, he's not 6 yet. G's got rupture. There it is. They spot the bounty.
Very nicely played. He's going to walk right through a blood right and has nowhere to go. Again, masterminded here. Super, again, not level 6.
Oh, man.
Lil with the follow-up. The linebacker just shoots over. And they're going to be able to get the kill. FNG, a killing spree. probably a touch unfortunate that he's getting all the kills in the end, but it's still a kill after all, and Virtus.Pro certainly pull ahead now 4-1.
Man, they are just shutting down this bounty so well. I feel like a lot of teams have honestly just been practicing against a bounty hunter strat for at least a month, and this is one of the teams that know the solution. And despite them having a Crystal Maiden, which is a jungling support, he's not vulnerable to it at all because of the place where he put that sentry ward. It was very, very ingenious and allows him to protect himself.
And we got Lil on the move. They're committing for a dive here on an Ice. He's at level 5, and yeah, the call down does a bit of bump damage, but he still holds the cogs here. How comes in, gets up a huge sonic wave. It's going to annihilate Illidan, and because of it, means Lil goes down as well. Vici Gaming able to secure 2 kills for themselves. A bit too greedy right there.
That was really well played by Ice. He saw the dive coming and he immediately went over to the trees. And not necessarily just that, but he was also in the position in case something happened. He was already close enough there that if it gets scary, bam, into the trees, dodges the call down. And at that point, they're diving creeps. Rocket Barrage does no damage. And any TP support, easiest kill. So really nicely played by Ice. He gets an urn out of that, a Tranquil Boots. And it's only 6 minutes, and it's time to hookshot party, man.
Now, while there is a lot of good action happening here mid lane, specifically for Virtus.Pro, and now with that breaking out on top, Vici Gaming are getting a lot on the 2 outer lanes. But bottom lane, they have Lil coming in, bash right after the charge, and Fenrir's in trouble. Easy takedown right there, and a swing and a miss from Ice. Not going to get connection on the hook shot. Bops him with a rocket on the way out, but it is Virtus.Pro who continue to engage. Big blood right in the middle. Ice going to get caught. Not much mana left to work with. FNG will go down to the right click of How, but G now, the next to fall right here. Very nicely played. The second time now Virtus.Pro getting a bit excessive, diving into the tower. Lil was able to make it out with his life, but they did lose both FNG and G.
Well, I thought that was going to go well. I thought that Clockwork was going to die, but he cast a Blood Rage on him, I believe, and the Battery Salt was just doing a bit too much there. Maybe a bit of a missed Blood Rage from the Bloodseeker. Just didn't quite work out. They keep diving towers, and the first one was good, but then Vici Gaming has been very good about TP supporting these lanes. So I think they're playing well against the Spirit Breaker, and VP's playing well against the Bounty Hunter. So both of the teams getting a little bit of advantage either way.
Looks like FNG's going to head back to the jungle side here on his Crystal Maiden, while G returns back to mid lane. Yeah, the skirmish on bottom lane started very promising. Lil able to get the quick solo pick, but then they felt they'd have enough for a follow-up, and it's 2 times straight that Ice was actually able to burn them with their committed dives. Now Ice with hookshot ready to go and a smoke in his pocket, looking for a hopeful setup probably on this mid lane bounty hunter here. He's holding the high ground. G is pretty far forward. FY watches out. They're going to get the hookshot connection here, and a follow-up comes in from Super. This is a dead G. He goes down quickly. Lil follows up, but could risk his own life here if he's not careful. He's able to make it away. How commits a jump in. No more mana right now, so he can't do the Sonic Wave. Call down comes and they annihilate How. Meanwhile, Ice pursues for Lil, gets the follow-up from Super here, who's a bit low on mana, gets the help from the charge. Urn flies out, and one more right click is going to help secure it with the overload. Now it's Ice looking to run away. Super can't make it out, gets frozen up from FNG. FNG, got to be careful. Too much overload damage, and he could end up going down. They're chasing Super. He's turning back. One more right click. Got it. That's almost a free kill right there for Super. He's got 1,300 gold. Another TP to come out. They really want to get the Storm Spirit down. They even have the charge on out. A Rupture, a Blood Right. It looks like they'll finally be able to get him down. But he had already just done so much and deep into Virtus.Pro territory.
I think that ended up working out as a whole for VP, though. I mean, they got the Storm Spirit. They killed the Queen of Pain. They killed the Clockwork. I mean, yeah, they lost the Crystal Maiden, and she used the smoke trying to dodge that last hit. Didn't end up saving her, but killing the Storm was definitely very important here, because that is the hero that's going to be an issue. Like, he's died 3 times now due to those good early ganks. So I think VP's going to be pretty happy with that one, despite the Bloodseeker dying at the start.
Looks like Vici, this is their time. Pretty much ever since their Clockwork really came online, they're happy to try to take some fights here. FY certainly could use the extra boost in experience to get that level 6 and get much more out of these fights that they are getting the pickoffs from. This is a lineup that comes online really hard in this mid game. And now Ice goes in, gets the setup on the hill, and then a follow-up from How. Easy Sonic Wave, and that's all it takes, Purge. Of those 4, it only takes, actually of the 5, you can get plenty of 2-man combination hit squads and go out there and get your objective done.
That's really nice to do as well, because then it's not as easy for your opponents to predict where you are. They could say like, oh, clock's on the map, or not on the map, so, I mean, you could be hookshotting somewhere. Well, what's the only hero that you can gank with? Well, if it's only Quap, then if you can't see Quap as well, then you can play a little scared. Or you should play a little bit scared. But if it could be Bounty Hunter, if it could be AA, if it could be Storm Spirit, then there's just so many different places he could be. And if you're not noticing the locations of the clockwork, then things become really difficult to predict.
You want to make sure you keep up on those sentries, keep up on that map intel, so you can get an idea as far as where everyone's roaming about. Because if you get caught and you have no wards and bounty hunters tracking you about and stalking you, there's going to be a really easy follow-up from your fly-in Super Storm Spirit or your Ice Clockwork, a blinking in how. Action's going to come out of what you feel like is nowhere, and then quickly Vici Gaming are going to be walking away with 2, 3, 4 track kills and taking over this game. And Virtus.Pro don't have a lineup that they want to take this game really too far.
Fender trying to get out, but he's going to get caught here.
Yep, easy charge bump with that Ion Shell. It's just a dirty duo right there, Purge, and they're going to either crumble the Iceman down. Virtus.Pro get a notch on their side.
They don't even need 17% to get a kill at that point. If you've got a level 4 Ion Shell, 90 damage per second, that's like a really scary Ember Spirit, more or less. He's charged on the mid lane, though, going towards Super. FNG already TP'd. Shouldn't be a kill, though.
Nah, he's starting to head back here.
Ice might hook this. He lands a hook this. Oh!
Swing and miss. Lil maybe gets a quick glimpse, does a bit of an ankle breaker there. Ice is not going to get the follow-up.
I think Lil just got lucky there. I don't see any ward vision. They didn't see the clockwork. I think he just got lucky there. That's it. And he even pinged saying, oh, there's a ward. That's obvious because he dodged my hook, but they may deward that later and miss it. Since there's nothing there, you know. Imaginary wards.
Yeah, to the credit, actually, of Lil being just kind of very lucky on the sidestep. Now FNG is level 6, top lane. They get the early rocket onto Illidan. Fenrir is level 6 now, and Ice Blast, I believe, is en route. And if they, there we go, the stars will align. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam! That's all it takes, Purge. You got track gold, you got a fancy looking kill. It's like the Globetrotters.
Their ganks are so good on Vici. Like, I haven't seen Illidan get this shut down in a while. Obviously, they overdived when they went for the tier 1 top, but for that clockwork kill before. But he just keeps getting blown up, and that's really the biggest damage potential from VP. And we've seen this time and time again with the Bloodseeker. G is an amazing Bloodseeker, but this hero just doesn't do that much damage late game compared to something like a farm Gyrocopter. So they're putting all their pressure on the really high win rate Gyrocopter, and they're letting Bloodseeker do his thing, but they know that if it gets late and late and late, that Storm's going to be able to deal with him, no problem.
It's not going to get any easier if they keep getting these track golds. Then you see heroes like Ice's Clockwork, where normally you just kind of get your simple Ags, Blade Mail, maybe a 4-staff. Well, suddenly he's getting so much bonus gold because of all the tracks. He can pick up those utility core items like your Shivas, your AC, and relieve that slot from your carry players. So it's just one of those kind of benefits. The same way we see that typically with like your Undying and Bounty Hunter combos. Those offlaners are able to just get so much more because of all the extra gold coming in.
And Bounty Hunter going for the typical Arcane Mech boot, or Arcane Boots Mech. Just good to help your team win team fights a bit more, and very important against Bloodseeker, because if he does lower the HP of everybody on the enemy team, a mech basically makes him run a lot slower.
Means
especially in the early game.
That first big blood right and call down, you can just kind of shrug off and go right back into the fight. So this is technically Vici Gaming's time to really take big team fights once they do have that mech complete, but Virtus.Pro, before that can happen, they're already smoked up and on the charge. They're looking ahead to bottom. Lil leading in front. Quickly pulls back. FY's there, dishes out the first track. It's going to be on to G. And we'll have to see if Vici Gaming are going to reassemble to this bottom lane, or if they're just going to let Virtus.Pro do as they please. Virtus.Pro seem very anxious at this point, Purge. Lil's now charging for a different target. This one onto Ice. Go right past him. He's going to cancel it, bump him. No Nether Strike follow-up. Ice dishes out the rocket. A couple of spanks on the butt. But doesn't want to go too far into VP territory, but there's going to be the Nether Strike looking to bump him back. Super's right there behind him. Now Howard comes in. Jump forward from Super. Is going to finish off Lil. Full Rocket Barrage is going to annihilate Ice. He's able to get off the wall, but it's a little too close to the tower and away from VP. It looks like they're going to take the one-man trade, possibly step up. No, they find FY. They pop the dust. They're going to get the kill. Meanwhile, How dishes out the Sonic Wave. Not enough to finish anyone off. G very low, but look at this. It's Illidan going on a rage path here. Gets off a big Rocket Barrage on the How, who is going to get a salve thereafter. Now they're looking for Super. Very low man on Super. He probably has enough to just jump to the high ground there if necessary. Gets frozen up for now. Still locked in place. Illidan not looking to go in right yet. They know Ice could be back in just a moment. Oh, they're going in though. Lil and the blood right, the bump almost up to the high ground. They're going to finish him off. And now VP still want to stand and fight. Here comes an Ice Blast, gonna connect. Ice with the hook shot, able to help secure that one onto Illidan. Now Virtus.Pro sound out the retreat, look to step back. They've had enough, but not before they get a nice little D-ward.
Yeah, it's good that he went for that because they just put the sentry down. They would have lost it at hypothetical. Ooh, charge coming for FY. No, I'm sorry, going on a creep instead, bot lane. So FY, oh, he cancels it. There's the dust, puts the hit through.
Not any easier for FY. They'll look for the bash and the bump.
Rupture now. They've got it now.
He's waiting. Oh!
Canceled.
He had clicked it too, but just couldn't get the follow-up onto FY. Little guy's able to make it away. Spank him with the track, and he's out.
Really,
Virtus.Pro, very aggressive.
Yeah, really back and forth fight. I feel like VP could have won that though. When the Quap ulted, the Bloodseeker did not blade mill, and if he would have been able to do that, she probably would have died when the Gyro ended up chasing her later with the Rocket Barrage. So they could have gotten a bit more out of that team fight and slightly won that, but just some slight misplays there led to that situation. But it started off with a good VP initiation. You know, they got the they traded the Spirit Breaker for the Clockwork. I think that was a good pickup, but as per usual, they fight for so long that all the heroes that just died at the beginning of the fight end up coming back and being a little bit scary.
That's when you don't really want to overextend, and that's credit to the remaining players of Vici Gaming kind of enticing a squad like Virtus.Pro to keep on fighting, to prolong it so that way those people can come back into the action. And Virtus.Pro not a team to really turn that down, Purge. Coming into TI, they average the most kills, so when there's an opportunity to take a fight, they're going to go for it. So could be something used against them, maybe Vici Gaming want to utilize here. I've yet to see them continue to go on those hit-and-run objectives, so I want to see if they're going to be pulling that out some more. It's prime time because Illidan's farming on his own in the jungle. FNG's kind of nearby, though, and so is G. Virtus.Pro just kind of very clumped up. Do we have a smoke, boys? What's happening here? They're looking to move as a fine unit here and probably charge right back towards this mid lane and secure tier 1.
That ward that FY put down was great. It just spotted all of VP's movement. And this is basically how they have to play. The ganks have been pretty heavy so far, and they're losing their important heroes. So they've got to stand near the Gyrocopter. He's got a Sanj first, pretty standard if you're dying a lot. You want the HP item before you want the Yasha. And they just need to cover him, basically. So they're just going to spread kind of together and farm very often.
Yeah, we're going to give G priority on farming up this ancient stack here. Looks like he's got his own Ogre Club. Early inklings of a possible BKB, maybe a Sage for himself. We'll see. How on the other side, nearly complete of his Orchid. A very solid grab. Is Super going down a similar road? No, he's going to go for the Bloodstone since he's taking the Orchid road. Ice though gets a nice catch onto a tracked Illidan. Followed up with an Ice Blast, and he's immediately dead. Now FNG looking for redemption, tries to dish out the freezing field. Ice able to reflect a lot of the damage from the Blade Mail. Does end up finishing him off. Now Ice Rupture tries to run, sits there, hides, dies. G's able to get the finishing catch right there. Ends up being a 2-for-1. Not done yet. Virtus.Pro still in pursuit, looking for Fenrir here. They want some ice for the whiskey. Here comes Lil charging in. Sees a TP, decides to pull back. Shuriken toss, How follow-up. Big Sonic Wave, and Lil will go down with the super catch. And now G got to get pulled back in, and he will go down. That is more track gold, possibly even more here, Purge, as they're looking to go for DK Phobos. Now tracked up again, tries to surge and retreat. They're trying to get the catch. Fenrir maybe catching with Ice, and what a catch from How. Gets topped off with a nice little cherry for Fenrir, but it is How who's going to pick it up. That must have been 3-4 track kills right there for Vici Gaming.
Oh man, they just completely outplayed VP in that fight. I mean, starting the fight off, they keep killing Illidan, preventing him from getting any good items. That guy needs a BKB to be any major threat against Vici because they've got Orchids, they've got all this burst damage out of heroes like Clock, and it's making Gyro look bad because they've been ganking him so well in their early game. And that many track kills, I mean, they keep baiting VP into more dives, but Vici's positioning has just been great this game.
Oh boy, and you could just already see the rewards coming in from fights like that. Fenrir with a shiny new pair of gloves here. He's got the Midas. And if you got it before 20 minutes, you're sitting pretty right now. You can start building up to an Agnum Scepter, and it comes really fast. Plus, you get the huge boost in XP from the Midas. Means you get that Ice Blast leveled up sooner. Does so much work. And you're going to really see them take advantage of that. Ice. Eyeballing this bottom lane. They're hoping to get a catch on the Lil, but Lil, that game sense is tingling. He decides to pull back. Maybe too many missing off the map right there. Doesn't want to risk getting caught out.
So what does VP do at this point to defend? I mean, they've been 5-manning a lot, but when they do take fights, they keep getting run down a bit. And the times that they have done some smoke stuff, it seems like they're not getting their catches because the bounty and the rest of Vici have been positioned correctly. And I assume they're auto smokes as well because there were so many in the early game. FNG used 2 to gank mid. He used that 1 to attempt to save his life when the Storm got the kill, wasted 1 there, unfortunately. And then they used that 4th one a moment ago. That's about all the smokes that there's going to be for the short part of the early part of the game because the cooldown on smokes are so high. So they really kind of hurt themselves in this mid-game setting where they need to continue getting kills. Those first 2 did a lot, but because they got ganked so much, they can't use smokes to come back and continue getting kills in return in the mid-game. So it's putting them in a really bad spot due to the fact that, I mean, they either need a gem or they need more smokes. Those are the 2 solutions.
I mean, I don't foresee Lil feeling confident enough to take any sort of hefty charge across the map and find a setup with his team at just where the point is right now. Vici Gaming seem to be very limited with what they show on the map. They're being very good about staying in the dark and really catching Virtus.Pro off guard, making them feel like they have an easy opportunity for a fight, and then the Cavalry comes in thereafter and it gets a bit ridiculous. So Hal is going to do a solo farm thing top, and Virtus.Pro just continue to move around as a group. It's a bit inefficient for farming, though. Yeah,
but they kind of have to do this because of the bounty, scouting them out and all that stuff. So it's tough. Almost a mech now in Bounty Hunter, so pretty soon I'm sure Vici Gaming is going to be happy to take these fights. There's a Bloodstone finish on Storm as well. They're going on an Illusion.
Oh, Illusion goes down. Big hit right there, but yeah, all for none.
They didn't rupture it at least, but Nether Strike for 80 seconds is a big deal. Support Spirit Breaker is pretty darn weak with just charge, so I'm sure Vici's going to be happy about this and go for the mid tower.
Ice, 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 swing and a miss, catching out. Now kind of gives them that bit of information that possibly there's a ward up there.
This is dangerous for FNG. There's a Storm Spirit. What is he doing?
Oh, Super just sees FNG and says, okay, free kill, takes it. And now they look to move in. What a sonic wave sent from Hal! Ice, ice, ice lays down the foundation with a beautiful set of cogs. And now they look to Illidan. They're kiting him out very well here. FY looking to run away from that rocket barrage, though. But already 3 hit the deck. What a beautiful setup here. Illidan, well, be careful.
I just didn't like that initiation by VP. It was basically FNG walking into the fight. The hookshot missed, so maybe he thought, oh, this is going to be really easy. Hookshot missed, it's down. But he ran right in the middle of like 4 Vici Gaming heroes and got blown up immediately. Didn't even get a chance to use his ultimate there. And then maybe it was a bad call. Maybe he told his team to go in, but they weren't quite on the same page as him, because that just seemed like a feed, a very uncharacteristic feed. Normally FNG's position is fantastic, but that one just seemed weird. Maybe they're tilting a bit, man.
I don't know.
They're having trouble against Vici Gaming here.
I mean, I can imagine from their player perspective, this game started out pretty damn good for them. They seem to have FY's number, good sentries. They picked him off multiple times. I mean, FNG started with a killing spree, for God's sakes. And then you start getting picked off one by one. I'm sure Illidan's got to be, a bit miffed on how many times he was picked off. He's probably expressing that to his team, and who really knows what's going on inside their room. But top lane, you can see partially what's going on. Lil almost committing with the charge on the Super. That's what I'm talking about. I just don't foresee really big opportunities where they could take fights like that without help being nearby or without them just not having enough. Certainly couldn't do much there to Super. Now he's just going to go for a different target. This one, though, a lot easier. They see FY in the creek with the help of the sentries on the high ground, and they're going to get an easy pick right there. Virtus.Pro, if they want to get that morale back up, they could certainly use picks like that.
Yeah, and getting an Observer Ward out of that as well is really going to pay off. So they put a lot of sentries on the map, and it's natural that they'll find him eventually, and it's good that they're doing this because it just helps you spot the movements. And with the Spirit Breaker, easiest kill ever, and there were other heroes in the area, so that's good. At least they're going to get that kill.
It's very apparent they're just laying down these foundations of wards so that Illidan has some sort of safety net to farm with without risking getting caught out by a little Invis Bounty Hunter bottom lane. Yeah, they're going to get a hook shot onto G, lay out the cogs. He already pops the Blade Mill here. G just looks to retreat. A big call down, though. Certainly helps things out, but look at that, the Ice Blast, and Hal able to get the quick finish there onto G. 1-for-1 trade that works out for Virtus.Pro here. Still charges out this time on the Hal, but here comes Super flying in from the west side, and now a Sonic Wave wall follow-up. Oh, what a huge freezing field. Super does end up going down, a valiant trade for his own life. Hal now toe-to-toe with Illidan. FY shows up, they get the track, can they get the kill for it? They can. Shuriken's going to connect and finish that one off. Now they're going to look for Phobos. They get the track, they don't need it, they want to get the quick kill. Now it's lone little FNG. The difference between Vici Gaming getting a huge team wipe, and it looks like they're going to do so.
He might get FY, it's going to be close.
Ooh, not enough.
Ooh, yeah, Ice Blast, but same team, so he'll be
5 go down from the side of Virtus.Pro. Vici lose 1, and they get so much gold out of it. They lose 2, technically. quickly. Just a quick respawn there of the Bloodstone, of course, from Super, but oh man, the economy just swelling so nicely for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be really good there, but man, they're getting so many track kills. And it's just, there's 2,500 gold on Bounty Hunter, and he just bought this mech like 4 minutes ago. That fight was so good for his bank, and he can just transition into something like a, I don't know, a pipe or something, maybe even a Yule Scepter for himself. That way when he gets gone on, he could just keep himself alive for a bit.
Oh, they're going mid lane. They want more. G shows himself trying to farm, and they get the quick and easy kill. Just so matter-of-fact about it. Just very apparent that Vici Gaming are just in prime position, and I don't know, Virtus.Pro, now it's start to think about that YOLO kind of a play here, that they can try to get a team wipe on their side to get their heads back into the game.
They're making it so that VP doesn't have anywhere to go, and that's why they're just waiting in the jungle now, because they'll say, oh, they're pushing mid, they're pushing this. I don't feel safe anywhere, so wait in the jungle, charge comes through, he's going to have his ultimate as well. Cogs ends up pushing him back, looking for the ult afterwards. He grabs him, but Blade Mill reflects. There's the pull mill. He looks quite dead, called down as well, but all it's going to do is slow him. Ice Ice actually might go down here. FNG popping an ult off, but only does so much. Ice Ice lives, 60 HP. VG, they're just retreating at the perfect moments here, and VP again, 5-man wipe, including the Bloodseeker gank that originally happened, and the morale is gone, I think, and VP's trying to pull things together, but it doesn't feel super coordinated. Kind of just seems like they're running at him insane.
It really
Maybe
does.
It'll work.
And Vici Gaming are just playing them like a fiddle right now.
Yeah,
the way they're diving in, they're able to just quickly turn around and back. I mean, look at this. G barely steps out from the top part of his base and narrowly dodges a hook shot from Ice Ice Ice. Just the emphasis of really nowhere is safe.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere.
And even if he missed that, I think that was okay, because it's just going to scare G. He just went for the top lane. He says, well, I can't farm there. Time to run to the bot lane, then run into my base. He's getting nothing out of this, and he didn't even land the hook shot. It just, Vici Gaming can do exactly what they want to do here, because VP didn't get a big gold advantage in the early game, and because they ganked that gyro so much. There were just too many lost team fights.
It's really the problem. I mean, I understand like commitments to something like the Spirit Breaker. It helps counter against the Bounty Hunter, but when you're not able to really be a Spirit Breaker, be the Enforcer, the Bruiser, and, you know, instill fear on your opponents, they can just kind of look past you and go for the bigger targets here. And when they have just FNG as their lone little additional defensive support, there's not much stopping the Illidan engagements here. Now Lil looking to move in, gets the bump back onto Hal, but he's BKB'd. Ice 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 gets his own follow-up. Phobos, meanwhile, up in arms with Super, and Fenrir, he's going to go down. Illidan locked in the cage with Ice Ice Ice, who is going to get dropped. Now Illidan getting kited back here from Super. He's just going to right-click him down here with the bonus of the track and the Shuriken going to be coming in. Hal secures a triple kill at the end of it, and it's another 5-team wipe on the side of Virtus.Pro. They have simply had enough and will throw in the towel for game one.
They didn't even get close to going high ground there, but VP doesn't have any way to defend pushes. It's basically like a level 1 Crystal Nova. That's pretty much it. How do they stop pushes? They can't, so all they could do is win team fights, and at some point it was abundantly clear that there was no way they could touch Vici Gaming in team fights. That was like 3 fights in a row where they got maximum 1 hero, and the game is instantly over.